everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are in the next to last game of April the 28th. We're still on the West Coast at the Kingdome in Seattle. It'll be the Detroit Tigers against the Seattle Mariners. This is game number 136 on the season so far to date. Look at our starting lineups. Tigers will have Whitaker at second, Sheridan in right, Bean in center, Trammell at short, Noakes catching, Evans the DH, Grubb in left, Bergman at first, and Brookins at third. For the Mariners, Nixon in center, Phil Bradley in left, Scott Bradley catching, Ken Phelps, DH, Presley at third. Alvin Davis gets the day off, and John Moses moves from the outfield to first base. Kingery in right, Quinones at short, and Harold Reynolds at second base. Hello, Ben. How you doing? Starting pitchers for today's game: Mike Morgan for Seattle. He comes to the game with a record of 1-1, and Jeff Robinson for the Tigers. He comes to the game 1-0. Home runs are plenty at the Kingdome. They have a 1-17 for both lefties and righties. Singles only 1-5, but the homers are 1-17. Seattle comes to the game 9-11. Detroit comes to the game 7-11. Pitcher catcher hold. Morgan is a +2. He's a 0, but Scott Bradley's a +2, so that gives him a net +2 quotient. Robinson is a -1. Noakes is a +1 for a net 0. Wild pitch for Morgan's 11, balks a 0. Wild pitch for Robinson's a 6, balks a 9. So I think that kind of hopefully covers most everything on there. Hello, Prague, and hello, Ernest. Good to see all of you. Again, tempting fate. I'm going to try the colored dice for the teams and see if that is going to work out or not. Let's see here. Let me position this a little bit better, hopefully. I think that's the best place I can get it right there. All right, so that's what we're going to try. And we'll go to the Strat-O-Matic computer and get the full pitching results so far for starter Mike Morgan of Seattle. He is 1-1 with a 4.03 earned run average, 22 innings pitched, 25 hits, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Of course, when we finish the month of April, I'll have a complete league leaders printout and complete standings and the whole 9 yards, so we can kind of get a recap on how the month of April went. But for now, we're just going to play it game by game. Leading off for the Tigers is Lou Whitaker. He's back in the starting lineup after being out for a couple of games. He is hitting .242, 2 home runs, and 11 driven in. And now I need to get the game up on my phone so I can see what you guys are seeing. So let me do that real quick. Make sure everything looks copacetic. Oh, turn the sound off. Don't want echoes. All right. So the best I can tell, looks like everything's in good shape. Best I can get it anyway. So we will see what happens. All right, looks good. Let's play ball. Thank you, Ben. We'll go with that. Move this over here so you can see the home run ballpark effects and single ballpark effects. So Mike Morgan facing Lou Whitaker. Again, Whitaker hitting .242, 2 homers, 11 driven in. It's a 110, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. And actually, John Moses will make the play. Like I said, they're giving Alvin Davis the game off for whatever reason. And John Moses takes over at first base today, where he is a 3.25, so kind of a high error rating. Range not bad, but high error rating. Here's Pat Sheridan, right fielder. He's hitting .264, a homer, and 1 run driven in. That's a 1-9 for Sheridan, and that's a base on balls. So Pat Sheridan becomes first base runner of the ball game. He could get a chance to take a lead Morgan is a +2 pitcher-catcher quotient. So if he does get the lead, it'd be a 1 to 15. Might be a good chance to try it. 2 through 7 or a 10 gets in the lead, but an 11 or a 12, he gets caught stealing automatically. But how many times do you roll 11 or a 12? Not too scared of those. 3, he gets the lead. So 15 is what it's going to be. -2 for Hell is a 13, but the +2 from Morgan brings it back to a 15. So 1 to 15. That's a 2. He's in there with stolen base, and it's a possible throwing error on Scott Bradley. His T rating is a 6. And it's not going to be a throwing error, it'll just be a stolen base for Pat Sheridan. So Sheridan, after drawing the base on balls, will steal second base. And for Sheridan, that's his 3rd stolen base of the season. And that'll bring up Bill Bean, or Billy Bean. And Bean in limited duty is hitting .286. He's 2 for 7, no homers and 1 run driven in. First havoc roll of the game. Nothing going on. Morgan to Bean. It's a 6-8 to the left-hander. That's a single center field. Possible RBI chance. Sheridan's a 16. He was being held, makes him a 15. Center fielder Nixon's a +2. That makes it a 17. So 1 to 17, he would come around to score, and Seattle's not going to throw through because that would allow Bean to go up to second base. They're going to hold Bean at first. They will relinquish the run to keep the big inning possibly out of play. So coming in to score is Sheridan on the RBI single from Bill Bean. Bill Bean will hold at first base, not be held, not go anywhere. And here is Alan Trammell. Trammell hitting .355, 2 homers and 5 driven in. That's a 2-6, and that's a single 2 stars. There's a clutch there, but we're not in a clutch situation. So the 2 stars are good enough. And had they thrown through, that would have scored Bean already from second base. But he was at first, so he just goes to third. Runners are on the corners. And Trammell will have to be held. He's going to have 5 to get the lead. That's a 2. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And the catcher, Matt Noakes, is up. Infield for the Mariners, playing for the double play to get out of the inning. Noakes is hitting .235, 7 homers, 16 driven in. 2-8, and that is a ground ball first base A, just what they ordered. A 3-6-3 double play. Turned by the Mariners, and the Tigers come away with just the 1 run. So it's going to go 3 to 6-3. Moses to Quinones and back to Moses to end the inning. So the Tigers get a run. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Detroit 1, Seattle coming to bat. And Jeff Robinson on the mound for the Tigers. Robinson is 1-1 with a .355 earned run average. 13 innings pitched, 13 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. And Donnell Nixon will lead things off for Seattle. He's hitting .308, 2 homers, 7 driven in. It's a 4-5, and that's a strikeout. So good start for Robinson. Striking out Nixon. 1 down. And that will send us to Phil Bradley, left fielder. Bradley's struggling, only hitting .187. 1 homer and 6 driven in. He hit .257 in real world. So he's got time. It's still early. It's only 75 at bats, and he had over 600. So long ways to go for that. It's a 5-8, and the struggles continue. Another strikeout for Robinson. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts. And here's the other Bradley, Scott Bradley, the catcher. And he's hitting .238, no homers, 6 driven in. 2-9, and that's a ground ball to Trammell at short. It's easy 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Robinson. And the Mariners go very quietly in their half of the first. We played 1 at the Kingdome. It is Detroit 1, Seattle nothing. Mike Morgan coming back out, and he'll face Darrell Evans, the designated hitter. And Evans on the replay is hitting a .190, 3 homers, 7 driven in. 6-6, and that's a fly to center field. Nixon hauls it in. One away, and it's going to send up Johnny Grubb. Limited duty for Grubb to this point, mostly been a pinch hitter. Does have 37 at bats, but he's only hitting .216. No homers and 4 driven in. So 111, and that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-5, but that's a 14, so that's going to be a line drive to second base. And that will be snagged by Harold Reynolds. So 2 down for Dave Bergman, first baseman. Limited duty for him as well, 23 at bats. Hitting .217, no homers, 3 driven in. 4-5, and that is a line out to third. Snagged by the third baseman, the hound dog, Jim Presley, to end the inning as Bergman tries to go opposite field, but it does not work. So 3 up, 3 down go the Tigers. Go to the bottom of the second, 1-0, maintains the score. For the Mariners, leading off will be designated hitter Ken Phelps, followed by the hound dog Presley and John Moses. Phelps on the replay is hitting .294, 5 homers, 15 driven in, and 51 at bats. It's a 4-8 for Robinson, struck him out. So Robinson has struck out 3 of the first 4 he has faced. And now here comes the hound dog Presley. He's hitting a .164, 2 homers, 7 driven in. 2-7, another strikeout. So 4 strikeouts for Robinson. And the hound dog whimpers away after the strikeout. 2 down, and that's going to bring up John Moses. Normally a center fielder, but is playing first base in this game. He's got a 3.25 rating. Switch hitter. Hitting a .182, a homer and 4 driven in. 6'9", switch hitter. 1-7 is a triple. That's a 13. It will be a double for John Moses. First hit of the game for the Mariners, and belongs to John Holy Moses. And he will be held at second base. He runs at a 17. They want to keep him close as they can. And Mike Kingery is your batter, right fielder, hitting .320, 3 homers, 10 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. 3-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. And Bergman will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So the double doesn't amount to anything. And we completed 2 from the Kingdome. It's still Detroit 1 and Seattle nothing. The Homer Kingdome numbers haven't come into play yet. We've had 1 ballpark check. It was a single. No home run ballpark checks yet, but I'm sure they're going to be coming shortly. And leading off for the Tigers will be third baseman Tom Brookins. Brookins hitting .311, 1 homer and 4 driven in. It's a 5-8, and that's going to be good for Brookins. 1's a double, anything else is a single. So Tom Brookins, a leadoff single. He will be held, but he won't try to go anywhere, I don't think. Actually, you know what? Brookins is going to see if he can get the lead, just to see if he can do something. 6 or 7 gets him the lead. That's a 10, doesn't have to worry about it. So, but he will be held. And here's Whitaker. He grounded out to Moses at first base to lead off the game. 4-5, left-handed, lines it to third again. And again, the hound dog will snag it. 1 away. Hit it hard, but right at him. It was an atom ball. Here's Pat Sheridan. He walked and scored the only run of the game in his first trip. See what he can do here against Morgan. 4-5, and that's the same roll. Line out to third. Boy, they're just testing Presley, and Presley's been up to the task. So 2 down, and that's going to bring up Billy Bean. Singled his first time up. Morgan, 3-8 for Bean. He's going to ground it to short. I'll take that back. No, it was a plus. It wasn't the pound like it is the super advanced. Plus is irrelevant in it super advanced. So it's going to be a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Tigers in the top of the third. Go to the bottom of the third. And see if the Mariners can do anything. They will lead off with Quinones, Reynolds, and Nixon in the bottom half. Quinones is hitting a .188, no homers, 5 driven in. So 1-6, and that's going to be another strikeout for Robinson. That's 5 for Robinson. He's got the strikeout ball going. Here's Harold Reynolds, just recently coming off watching another episode of Baseball Tonight to figure out if he can figure out how to field and maybe even figure out how to hit. He's hitting .230, no homers, 3 driven in. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. That's going to be Trammell. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E21. And for a shortstop, E21, the only error chances at short for an E21 shortstop is 6, 15, and 17. And that's a 13. He's okay. So Trammell throws out Reynolds for second out of the inning. And that brings us back to the top of the order for Donnell Nixon. Struck out his first chance. 6-4, and that's a fly to center field X. That is Mr. Bean. He's a 3. And he's 6. 3 and a 5. Could be trouble on the super advanced chart. A 3 and a 5 is in fact a single. And E6 in center field has got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. That's a 5. It's going to be a rare play. So it was a SI2 rare play. So let's go to the chart for the SI2 results and a rare play. Batter hits a single with base runners advancing 2 bases. As the batter rounds first, the fielder throws the ball behind him and catches him off the bag for an out. Okay, so the single right there in center field by Donnell Nixon is a good single, but he rounded first too much, and Bean throws back behind him. So it's going to go, and Bean must have had a good arm to do it, 8-3 for the putout to end the inning. But that's why they call it a rare play, I guess. So it's going to go 8-3. You don't see those putouts very often. And that ends the inning for the Mariners. Hello, Mr. RJL and Kenyon. Good to see both of you. So kind of bad base running there by Donnell Nixon as he really rounded first. And Bean threw behind him. All right, so Trammell will lead things off. For the Tigers, he singled his first trip. 4-9, and he will single again. So Trammell is 2 for 2. And he's going to look to get the lead. He needs a 5 to do it. It's the only place he gets the lead is a 5. 4, he doesn't get it. He's got to hold. Here's catcher Matt Noakes. He hit into a double play his first time up. 6-5, fly ball center field, and it's out there for Nixon to grab. 1 down. Terrible looking 8. I can never write my 8s very well, so oh well. Comes with a tear. Uh-oh. There is a chirping at the door. It could be a mystery guest. we do have a mystery guest has just joined us. So it's interruption here at the Kingdom for a brief second. And she didn't want to stay very long, did she? Enough to mess up my player stack and cause a slight delay, and now she wants to go back out again. Do you want to stay in or go out? What do you want to do? No? Tabby? No? All right. I think she's just curious what I was doing up here. Of course, ever since our dog passed away, she hasn't come up here, so we're getting there. One of these days, she might do it. One of the problems is with this webcam, it's slower to the table than my old phone setup used to be, so she has less room to get in here. So she didn't really have room to lay down or do anything. So probably didn't get the best side of Tabby on that one, but at least you know she's still around. So anyway, get back to what I was doing. Daryl Evans is stepping to the plate. Flew to center his first chance. 4-7, and that's a 1-4 single. That's a 3. It'll be a base hit, 1 star. And that will move the runners Trammell up to second base with 1 out. Tigers might have something cooking. Here's Johnny Grubb. Nothing on the Havoc. Morgan to Grubb. 1-3, and that's a line out to first base. Would have been a base hit had there been 2 outs, but with only 1 out, it's not a clutch situation, so the line out to first is what we have as John Moses snags it. Everybody gets back safely. Now, if that same result were to come up, we're in a clutch situation. That would be a base hit. So Bergman in the clutch against right-handers loses 3 hits actually. 2-9, 2-10, and 3-11 are all base hits that turn to outs. So Bergman definitely anti-clutch. So he's hoping to avoid those results. 1-5, and he does, but not the result he wanted. He wanted 1-4 or 1-3 or 1-2, but he got 1-5, which is a fly to right to end the inning. It'd be kind of apropos that Tabby would want to come and venture in when the Tigers are playing, as that is her favorite team. All right, here's Jeff Robinson back out, and he'll be facing Phil Bradley, Scott Bradley, and Ken Phelps to start the bottom of the 4th. Bradley 2-7, and that's a leadoff walk. Leadoff walks usually come back to bite you. We'll see if that happens to Robinson. Bradley looking to get the lead, 2 through 5 to get the lead. Does not get it. He will hold. And here is Scott Bradley. 110, and that's a single to center field. Center fielder Beans a 0 arm. Nixon being held 1-16 to get to third base. But with nobody out, I think you don't want to take any chances, especially when you're down a run. So first and second, nobody out, and Big Ken Phelps is your batter. That's a 3-9 for Phelps, and that's a 1-16 single. That's an 18, though. It's a line out to second base. So Phelps caught a bad break there on the D20 as he lines it to second, but everybody gets back. 1 away, and here's the hound dog, Jim Presley. Struck out his only chance up so far. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Bradley was being held on, so second baseman is responsible, so that means Whitaker is going to jump up to a 3 and an E20. 3 and a 9, that can make a difference. We'll see. 3 and a 9 on the chart. 3 and a 9 is a G3. There's no pound there, so it doesn't get through for a base hit. 3-9 is a G3. 2-9 would have been a fielder's choice, but since he was holding the runner, it's down to a 3-9, which is a G3. He is an E20, so he's got to avoid 3, 13, 17, and 18. And he does. So it's ground out to Whitaker, but the runners do advance. Bradley goes to third base, and the other Bradley goes to second. And now with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, John Moses up in a clutch situation. And he doubled his first trip. In the clutch, Moses will lose a hit on 2-9, and he's neutral everywhere else. So 2-9 is the only negative. That's a 2. Chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's chance of a pass ball on Noakes. His pass ball rating is a 3. No pass ball, he blocks it. Here's Moses. 110 for Moses is a ballpark single check, but that's a 16. He's going to line it to first. And Seattle put the first 2 on, but cannot move anybody further than second and third, as that's going to do it. Robinson pitches out of it. We go to the 5th. It's still 1-0. I was expecting more runs than this, especially at the Kingdom. But then again, if you remember the last game with with Boston and Oakland, it was a tight game until the bullpens got involved, and then all hell broke loose. So we'll see how long the pitchers last. Brookins will lead it off. He did single his first time up. 1-3, and that's a fly to left field. Easy play for Phil Bradley. 1 away, and here's Lou Whitaker. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to first and lined to third. 4-9, and that's a single to right field for Sweet Lou. And he might be looking to get the lead. He is. 4 through 5. 4 or a 5 gets him the lead. And it's a 6. He cannot get the lead. All right, here's Sheridan. 6-6 to the lefty is a fly to center field. Nixon puts it away, 2 down. And now it's going to be up to Mr. Bean. Keep the inning going. Six, 7. Ground ball shortstop X. Whitaker was being held, so the shortstop is the one responsible, the lefty on the mound. So Quinones bumps to a 4 E31. 4 and a 7. I know that's going to get through. 4 and a 7 is a G3, but it's a pound, so that means it's an SI2 because he was holding the runner. So SI2, Whitaker is going to get to third base. Bean will single. Now we're checking the air on Quinones. He's an E31, so he's got to avoid. There's a lot of numbers to avoid here. 3, 4, 6, and then 14 through 18. 3, 4, 6, and then 14 through 18. And that's a 7. He does avoid it barely, but the base hit is good. Puts runners on the corners with 2 outs for Alan Trammell in a clutch situation. But if you're the Tigers, he's the guy you want up there. And in the clutch, Trammell does lose a couple hits there. 1-8, 1-9, he loses hits in the clutch. And also on 2-6. So a little bit of anti-clutch for Trammell. Trammell is 2 for 2, though. 110, and that's a ballpark blast. And there you go. We finally got the offense we were looking for. The 110 is a ballpark blast. It's a 17. That's a 12. It's long. It is gone. It's an Earl Weaver 3-run home run for Alan Trammell. And the Tigers expand the lead to 4-0. And for Alan Trammell, that is home run number 3, RBIs 6, 7, and 8 on the season. Tigers lead it 4-0. And here comes Matt Noakes, who's 0 for 2. 6-6, and that's going to be a fly to center. Nixon puts it away, but damage done. Tigers put up 3 in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. They now lead it 4-0 over the Mariners. as Trammell took advantage of the friendly confines of the kingdom. Jeff Robinson, this is his fatigue inning. He does have a 5 here, so we'll keep an eye on potential fatigue. Kingery is your batter. It's a 3-6, and that's a ground ball to Whitaker. 1 away. Ray Quinones, the batter. That's a 2-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Trammell all over it. 2 down. 1 shortstop grounds to the other. Quick, so nothing against the point of weakness yet on Robinson. Here's Mr. Harold Reynolds. 2-3 for Reynolds. He pops it up to second. And so Mr. Robinson keeps full endurance. He has nothing against him. So he's definitely good to go into the 6th. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Mariners. We go to the top of the 6th. Still 4-0. Morgan back out. We'll face Evans, Grubb, and Bergman. 3 left-handers. 6-10, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's a 12. So he will fly to left field. And there's 1 away. Hauled in by Bradley. 1 down. Here's Grubb. He's lined to second and lined to first. 6-6. He's going to fly to center. Nixon puts it away. 2 down. For Mr. Bergman. Bergman has lined to third and flied to right. 0 for 2. 5-8, and that's going to be a split chance. 1-11 is a double. That's a 10. So Bergman, a 2-out double off the bat of Dave Bergman. And now it's up to Tom Brookins in a clutch situation. Brookins in the clutch loses hits on 2-9 and 2-10. So there's a couple of anti-clutch rolls right there, 2-9 and 2-10, that he needs to avoid. 5-6, and that's going to be a fly to center field. Nixon puts it away to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is still 4-0 rather, favor of the Tigers. And Robinson back out. He's got full endurance. He gave up nothing in the 5th. Now he's facing the top of the order, Donnell Nixon, Phil Bradley, and Scott Bradley. 4-3, that's a ballpark single check. 1-5, that's a 15. So it's a liner to short. Trammell snags it, 1 away. Brings up Phil Bradley. 4-6, and that's a walk. Don't want to give up free bases when you're ahead 4-0. You want to make them earn it. Down 4-0. Well, Seattle might figure they got to run to get something started, so they're going to try to get the lead at 2 through 5. He does get the lead, so it's a 19. Minus 2 for a 7. 1-17, he's going to steal it. At 16, he barely got in there. Boy, Trammell put on the tag and thought he had him, but they will give Bradley the stolen base credit, saying his foot got in there. And for Bradley, that is stolen base number 3 on the season. Does take away the double play, and a base hit could break the ice for the first run. We shall see. Phil Bradley runs the 16, so they will kind of hold him on second base. Try to keep him close. Scott Bradley, the batter. Catcher, he's 1 for 2. 3-4, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. And that's going to freeze Bradley at second base, so he will hold. As Jeff Robinson snagged it, didn't let it go between his legs. He got it and checked the runner at second. And now we're down to Ken Phelps in a clutch situation. Phelps in the clutch does gain a hit on 3-10. That's the only clutch result on his card from the right side. So a 3-10 would turn into a hit rather than an out. But it's 2-8 instead. That's a walk. So that's going to keep the inning going for the Hound Dog Presley. Presley at 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded to Whitaker. 4-7, and that's a 1-19 single, but it's only 1 star, so it's merely going to load the bases. It's not going to produce a run, but it will load the bases and bring up the tying run to the plate in John Moses. And Robinson on the brink of being fatigued. One more. Well, the computer is saying he's fatigued right now, and I don't think that's correct. Because you usually have to allow over 2 innings, you have to allow 4 things there. So I don't think that's correct. I think the computer's a little bit off on that one, but that's just me. It's the way I'm rating it anyway. So Moses is up. He doubled and lined to first. That's a 3-7 and struck him out. Didn't matter either way you go. He strikes him out with the bases loaded to keep the shutout intact. Talk about clutch hitting. That was a clutch pitching as he struck him out. And for Robinson, that is strikeout number 6 in 6 innings. But his first since the 3rd inning. He struck out 4 in the first 2, and then that's kind of calmed down some, but he's pitching very well, so they don't worry about it. All right, Morgan will come out. This is his fatigue inning, or will he come out? Actually, Morgan's going to be replaced. They're going to go ahead and pull the plug on Morgan and go to the bullpen for left-hander Bill Wilkinson. With all the lefties coming up for the Tigers, they will go to Wilkinson, the lefty, out of the bullpen. So we'll get a pitching change, and we'll get the numbers on Mike Morgan. His official totals for the game. Morgan is going to go 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, and 4 runs, all earned. 1 walk and no strikeouts. Very interesting. He has no strikeouts. And, of course, the big blow to 3-run homer that he did allow to Alan Trammell. So Bill Wilkinson is your new pitcher. His hold rate's a -1. And Bradley's a +2, so that makes that a +1. So Whitaker is up, lefty on lefty matchup with Wilkinson. Let's get the numbers on Wilkinson on the replay as he comes in. Wilkinson on the replay, 1-1 with a save, 4.32 earned run average, 8 innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. All right, 6. So 3 in it. Okay, Ben. So you're saying 3 in the same inning did it? Okay, that's right. It has to be 4 of a combined inning, but 3 in the same inning. Gotcha. All right, so 6-6 for Whitaker. That's a ballpark blast. Look at that. And Whitaker has normal power. That's a 9. It's gone. Sweet Lou greets Wilkinson with a home run. Look at it again. 6-6 against lefties is the diamond shot. It's 1-17. That's a 9. Sweet Lou goes deep. Home run number 3 for Whitaker. RBI number 12. And the Tigers now take a 5-0 lead. 3rd home run of the season for Whitaker. And against a lefty, no less. But he is rated at normal power, so he must have some homers against lefties. Here's Pat Sheridan. 1-8 is a strikeout. We weren't going to pinch hit for Sheridan. We'll leave him in there for his defense. Here's Bean. We are in the 7th. He can pinch hit, but Bean's not a bad defender, so they're going to leave him in there. 4-7, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Quinones is a 3. 3-17, he'll get to it. He is an E31. So we got to avoid 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. And it's a 5. It's a rare play. So a 17, a 3, and a 17 was a G1. So we got a G1 rare play. Is that the one where it hits the mound or something? No, it says if it's a run on first, it would hit the runner, but there's no run on first, so it's just a regular ground ball. So, whoops, pulled up the wrong thing there, didn't I? Pulled up everything. All right, with nobody on base, it's just going to be a regular ground ball. So those Strat not so rare plays come up again. So Quinones will make the play, 2 down. Bean is retired. And that will send up Mr. Trammell. His 3-run homer really broke the game open. 2-7, this time against a lefty. He grounds it to Quinones at short to end the inning. But the Whitaker home run gives the Tigers a 5-0 lead as we head to the 7th inning stretch here in the Kingdome. Mariner fans and the Moose not too happy. Jeff Robinson is tired, but they're going to let him keep going. He's pitching a shutout, so until he gets into trouble, they're going to keep him in there. All right, we are at the 7th inning stretch, but I don't really feel like I need a stretch break at this point, so we're going to keep going. And it's going to be Kingery leading it off. 5-7, that's a 1-8 single. That's a 19. He will line it to Whitaker for 1 away. So 1 down. Kingery is out of there. And that'll bring up Quinones. Ray Quinones. 4-4, and that's a walk. So Quinones will draw the base on balls. Now, we may have a pinch hitter for Harold Reynolds. In fact, I think the May is not the question. The May is definitely. So he's going to come out. And Alvin Davis will pick up a bat and pinch hit. And then the new second baseman will be Domingo Ramos. Domingo Ramos will be the new second baseman. So Davis will pinch hit. And then in the 8th inning, Ramos, second base. All right, so we say goodbye to Mr. Harold Reynolds. And Alvin Davis will pick up a bat. And we'll get the numbers on him. Alvin Davis. They were hoping to give him the game off, but they feel like they needed a pinch hitting appearance, so he's going to make one. He's hitting .348, 3 homers and 9 driven in 69 at bats. So Davis is up with Quinones at first and 1 out. And Quinones is not being held at first base. 6-7, that's a ground ball second base. That's going to be Whitaker. He's a 2. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3 is okay because he was not holding the runner on, so that pound doesn't come into play. It'll be a G3. And then Whitaker has to avoid 3, 13, 17, and 18. Which he does. So it's good play for Whitaker. The runner does advance. Quinones does go to second base on the 4-3 ground. It's like a ground ball C. Now there are 2 outs. And Donnell Nixon, leadoff hitter, is up. This is probably Robinson's last batter to be faced. 5-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. That is Brookins. He's a 3, E21. 3-2. That's going to get through for a base hit. That's going to probably break the shutout up. 3-2 is an SI2, and it does. That's going to score the run. Brookins is an E21. He has to avoid 6, 11, 15, 16, and 18. And that is an 11, so that's an error on Brookins. E21 at third base, the 11's right here. So we have an SI2 plus an error. So the single and the error on Brookins, but the run is earned because the error had nothing to do with it. The SI2 would have scored the runner anyway. So it is an earned run, but that's going to be it for Mr. Robinson. He is going to be lifted as Donnell Nixon gets credited for the run batted in. As Brookins boots it. And before the Phil Bradley at bat, we will have a new Tiger pitcher coming into the ball game. And that new Tiger pitcher will be Nate Snell. So Nate Snell will be coming on. Right-hander, Nate Snell. Get the numbers on Snell. On the replay, Snell is 0-1 with an 8.64 earned run average, no saves. 8 innings pitched, 12 hits, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So Snell is going to come on and relieve Robinson. He's got a -2 hold, which will make us a -1. And a clutch situation for Phil Bradley. And in the clutch, Bradley loses a hit on the 2-10 and on the 1-7 and on the 2-5. So 3 places he's anti-clutch. That's a 4-3 for Snell. That's a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's an 8. So he's going to line it. We'll say he's going to line it to third this time just to be different. And that's going to end the inning. And we can now close the book on Jeff Robinson. And also we bring in Ramos to play second base for Seattle. Seattle got a run in the 7th, but that's it. Now we can close the book on Jeff Robinson. He is obviously in line to get the win. And if he gets that win, he'll improve to 2-0. So he goes 6 2/3. Going to give up 5 runs. I'm sorry, 5 hits, 1 run that was not earned, 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. Well, that's no, actually it is an earned run. The computer screwed that up because the way I had to put it in there. But that was an earned run because it was a single 2 stars from the get-go. So computer thought it was an unearned run because I had to put it in as a single plus E5. So somehow it didn't register that the way it should have. But we're straight now. Wilkinson back for his second inning of work. And he'll be facing Noakes, Evans, and Grubb, more lefties for Wilkinson to face. Could see some right-handed pitch hitting by the Tigers, possibly. See how that plays out. Top of the 8th. Why do I have Noakes in there? Something's not right. Hold the phone. Something's not correct. So let me go to the play-by-play and see if I type something in incorrectly. All right. Home run, strikeout. Okay, I did type in something incorrectly, so I got to go back and fix this. For some reason I typed in that that Trammell hit a home run that inning as well in the 7th. I don't know why I did that. He grounded just short. He didn't hit a home run, so I don't know where I got that from, but I guess I was excited about Lou Whitaker's home run. So I'm going to fix that. I'm not going to do it now. I'll fix it when the game is over. I'll just have to do it by hand from here because I really don't. It's a whole lot of stuff going on in the bottom of the 7th that I don't want to recreate. It'll just take too much time. If this was a recorded video, I'd fix it, but not right now. All right, so it is going to be Matt Noakes leading things off. And that's a 2-4, and he grounds it to first. So I'll just input this all manually when the game is over. Here is Darrell Evans. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So with 2 outs and the base is empty, they're going to go ahead and let Grubb hit. He rarely faces left. He's only 4%, but this might be one of the 4% right here. 1-8, and he grounds it to first to end the inning. That's going to do it for Wilkinson. He's going to go 2 innings, and he will come out after that. They'll bring in somebody else to pitch the 9th. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 5-1, and Snell back out. And he will be facing Scott Bradley, Ken Phelps, and the Hound Dog Presley. That's a 4-2 to a lefty. It's a ground ball to first. Bergman handles it, 1 away. That will bring up Ken Phelps, 0-for-2 with a walk and a strikeout. 4-7, and that's a 1-8 triple. That's a 2. Ken Phelps with a triple. He did have 1 triple in real world, so I'll give it to him. Triple by Phelps. And that brings up the Hound Dog Presley. Infield back. This run doesn't really hurt him too much. 6-12 for Snell. Is a ground ball shortstop C. I don't think I've ever seen a ground ball shortstop C before, but there it is right there. Ground ball shortstop. It didn't matter what it was for the shortstop because the infield was back, so it was going to score the run either way. RBI ground out for the Hound Dog. Cuts the lead to 5-2. And that brings up Moses. That's a 3-10 for Moses, and that is a walk. So Moses will keep the inning going with the base on balls. He will not try to get the lead because there's too many chances of him getting picked off. So they'll pass the baton to Kingery. 1 chance of a wild pitch. He's a wild pitch 20, so it's not a chance. It is a wild pitch. So that puts the runner in scoring position. Another 1. We're not going to have back-to-back wild pitches. Sorry. Here's Kingery, 3-7. And that is a 1-4 double. 5-20 is a single. That's a 2. It's a double. And that will score Moses. Now it's 5-3. Nate Snell starting to blow it a little bit. Bullpen action for the Tigers. Mark Thurman loosening. Snell to Quinones. 3-8 for Quinones, and that's a 1-8 single. That's a 9, though, so it's a line out to Trammell to end the inning. But 2 runs for the Mariners cuts the lead to 5-3 as we go to the 9th inning, and that is all for Mr. Snell. Mark Thurman, will be coming in to try to earn that save. Willie Hernandez is not yet on the team, so can't go to him. For the Mariners, they will turn to Mark Huseman out of their bullpen. Close the book on Wilkinson. Wilkinson goes 2 innings, gives up a hit and run, which was the home run. No walks and 2 strikeouts. And for Snell, he goes an inning and a third, And he's going to give up 2 hits and 2 runs, which were earned. He walks 1, no strikeouts. So that's going to be it for Snell. All right, so it'll be Bergman, Brookins, and Whitaker due up against Huseman. And we'll get the numbers on Huseman, what his totals are for the season. Huseman checks in 0-2 with an 8.74 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 17 hits, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts. 5-3, and it's a fly ball, right field X. Right fielder in this case is Kingery. He's a 3 E3. 3 and a 6, he'll get to it. E3. The only thing he has to worry about on an E3. Oh, I'm sorry, 3-6 he did not get to it. I take it back. I assumed he did, but 3-6 is actually a single, 2 stars. I was presumptuous there, thinking the 3-6 was good enough, but it's not. It's a single. And it's E3, so he's got to avoid 3-15 and 18, but it's going to be a base hit. And he does avoid the error chance, but it is a base hit for Bergman. That's why you should double check the charts, because you think you know the result by heart, and then it ends up being something different. So here's Brookins. It's a really good bunter. They could bunt a runner over to get an extra. I really don't like the bunt. 3-5, and that's ground ball shortstop base. So maybe that's one time I should have. 6-4-3 double play. So 2 quick outs. And that will bring up Whitaker. 5-4, and that's going to be an in-home run chance, 1-14. That's a 3. Whitaker does it again. Look at it again. Whitaker, 5-4 off of Huseman is an in-home run chance on a 1-14. That's a 3. Whitaker, of course, with normal power. So Whitaker does it again. Just a solo shot because of the double play. But it is his 4th home run of the season, 2nd of the game. And it gets the Tigers now a 6-3 lead. And here's Pat Sheridan. 1-5 for Sheridan, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Huseman, 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, and a run. No walks and a strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Mariners, as the Tigers hold a 6-3 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. And coming in for the Tigers to try to close the deal is Mark Thurman. On the replay, Thurman is 2-2 with an 8.25 earned run average, no saves, 12 innings pitched, 20 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He had 5 saves in real world. So he is certainly capable of getting a save. That's obvious. Thurman's a 0 hold, so we are looking at, with Noakes, he's a +1, so it's a +1. But I don't know if down by 3 whether Seattle will be doing a lot of running anyway. So leading things off will be Domingo Ramos. He came in after Davis pinch hit for Reynolds. He took over at second base and is in the number 9 position. So it will be Ramos, Nixon, and Bradley due up for the Mariners against Mark Thurman, the lefty. It's a 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check, which is 1-5, but that's a 19. So he will line it to third. Oh, Tabby's crying again, like she wants to come in here again. I don't know why she's doing this to me. One moment. It's just a brief delay. I'm not going to let her get up on the table, though. Okay, so it ends up she didn't want to come in here. She wants me to go downstairs. Well, I told her I'm almost finished. If the Thurman will cooperate, we will finish very quickly. All right, so here's Thurman to Nixon, 5-9. That's ground ball, second base C, so good enough. Whitaker makes the play, 2 down. Last chance is Phil Bradley. Thurman going for the save. It would make the Tigers 8-11 if they get the victory. 4-8 to the right-hander is a single, so it's going to keep the inning going and the ball game going. Of course, Bradley will not try to steal. Not down by 3 runs, he won't. Now, Scott Bradley, a lefty, but do they have anybody on the bench that they might want to bring in that's right-handed that's a good hitter? They do have Christensen, who hits lefties pretty well. So they're going to pull Scott Bradley and pinch hit with John Christensen. Christensen will come on and pinch hit for Bradley. If the game somehow goes to the bottom of the 9th, or to the top of the 10th, they would bring in Kearney. Bob Kearney would catch. Right now we have Christensen pinch hitting. So Christensen is on. He's had limited duty for the Mariners. Christensen is but he is 2 for 5 with a triple. 2 out of 5 hitting 400 with a triple and a walk. So pretty decent hitter, off to a good start so far. See what they do here. One more out to go for Thurman to end this ball game. 5-9, same thing we just had. Ground ball, second base C. That'll do it. And the ball game is over. Tigers win it by the score of 6-3. And Mark Thurman will earn his first save. Robinson will go to 2-0. Morgan will drop to 1-2. So Thurman, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, nothing else. So for the Tigers, 6 runs on 12 hits. Mariners, 3 runs on 8 hits. Check the errors. There was an error on Brookins. And I think that was the only error of the game. Just the error on Brookins. So 6-12-1 for the Tigers. 3-8-0 for the Mariners. Robinson the winner, 2-0. Morgan the loser, 1-2. Thurman his first save. Seattle drops to 9-12. Detroit improves to 8-11. And the final game of the April 28th block will be from California. It'll be the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the California Angels. Mark Ciardi for the Brewers against the Candyman, John Candelaria, for the Angels. So that's good over from here. Tabby is calling. I don't want to belabor it too much. I can take the laptop downstairs and finish inputting the game manually so I can get everything straight from where I screwed it up. But I didn't want to hold up the video because of it. But that's good over from here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Tomorrow, of course, is Friday. Weekend is almost here. So enjoy. And like I said, stay safe out there. And one editorial note, for God's sakes, if you ordered the new season of Strat-O-Matic, please be patient and wait for it. They're killing me with all these Facebook posts where people are dying, wondering, putting out a criminal investigation alert to find out where their package is or where their shipping package is or whatever. A bunch of babies, if you ask me, in my opinion. Sorry for the rant, but it's just getting on my nerves. I'm like, people, would you please just be patient, wait for the stupid package to get there? It will get there. Your world will not end if your package does not get there and somebody else gets theirs one day ahead of yours. I mean, please, you're going to probably get the package, look at it for 30 minutes, and then put it away for a month. So quit your bitching and just wait for the stupid thing to get here. If you don't want to wait for your package to arrive, drive up to New York, get it yourself. All right, there's my rant. I'm off my soapbox now. All right, so that's good to go from here. Until next time. And I did that on purpose. I did it on purpose to see who stay till the end of the video. So if people watch this later and don't get to the end, they'll never know I said it. But I said it, and people on Facebook just drive me crazy. Drive me crazy. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.